Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you for escaping with us. That's Andrew, and I'm Alex.
And as always, with great power comes great Connor ability. This man is a legend right here.
We've got Connorville here.
He's got the Liquid Captain America shirt on.
Yeah, you know it.
If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Connor is the funniest person in Los Angeles.
It's true.
So
it's true.
By what factor is he funnier than you? By what multiplier?
A significant margin. It's like a big margin. His storytelling ability, which we'll get into, it's something I envy quite a bit.
So we're gonna do hot seat.
We are.
We're gonna do agree to disagree.
We are doing agree or disagree, and we're doing hot takes. We hope you've got some hot takes for us.
Oh,
we're actually starting hot today. We're going to start with some hot seat, and then we'll do some hot takes.
Cool.
That's okay with everybody. I'll set the timer for 5 minutes.
Wait, well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
What?
No,
Say it.
I'll do it in hot seat.
All right. Oh, okay.
I'll do it in hot seat.
You ready?
I'm nervous. Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Who are you?
My name is Connor. I'm a TikToker and music man.
Music man. Explain that bit.
I used to be in a touring band, and I did music a bunch, and I worked in recording studios for a long time until I moved out to LA. Now I'm doing influencer and TikToks.
And you're a big old nerd.
I love nerdy stuff. Give me Star Wars, give me Marvel, DC. I love anime so much.
Cool. All right.
What's your favorite anime of all time?
Naruto. 100%.
Yeah, that one's really popular.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite franchise of all franchises? I'm personally a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I think it's hard now with Star Wars being what it is, but I grew up with it. The nostalgia still kills me.
What's your franchise? What's your favorite French fry?
Ooh.
Five Guys. I like that they just give you a whole wet sack of potatoes and
Over McDonald's?
Yeah. I mean, you could eat that. You could survive off that for a week. Like, that bag is huge. They overload it. I love it.
That's true. You like their burgers?
Yeah, of course. I need that grease.
Are those your favorite burgers?
Yes. Yeah. When I first moved out here, everyone was hyping up In-N-Out, and it's the most mid thing I've ever had.
Yeah!
Of all time.
In-N-Out is garbage.
Yeah,
I actually really like the In-N-Out fries. I get that they're really chalky. I kind of like the chalkiness.
My biggest problem with In-N-Out fries is that I order it, pick it up, and then as soon as I'm home, it's like a 5-minute drive. They're freezing every time. You have to eat them right in the car.
There's nothing redeeming about those fries at all.
I like them. I like the chalkiness. Are you a Pokemon fan?
I am. I love Pokemon.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
That's either gonna be Lucario or Mewtwo.
Solid.
Yeah, I
Solid.
love Lucario. I think he's a badass.
Do you play Super Smash Brothers Ultimate?
Yeah, Lucario's my main.
Okay, there it is. Knew that was coming.
What was it like watching your grandfather die?
Oh, that was a crazy moment in time. I was just so young, and it really shaped the value of a life in my eyes. You know, mind blowing.
Just for the record, he told me to ask that before we started filming.
It can be just anime or BvS.
Or super personal, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask me about what it was like seeing my grandfather die.
Holy crap! What a great answer.
No, Chris loves it. He knows.
Your girlfriend Courtney?
Yep.
Me and you and Rachel and her have been on a couple double dates. I've gotten the privilege of getting to know her. How long have you been together?
December it'll be 12 years.
Congratulations.
So long time.
Question.
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 26.
Okay. I turned 26 in February.
Nice.
I will probably still be single.
No. I know you. You are a ladies' man. You try to hide it, but you are a ladies' man.
What's your best advice to make me not this?
No, dude, I still seriously remember there was one time we were hanging out and you were giving advice on what you're doing to make these girls like you, and I was like, oh man, I have never done anything like that before. Ever. TikTok doesn't know. They don't get it.
That's really funny. Right,
this man chooses to be single. He does.
That's a good boost of confidence. That was great. Thank you.
In your 12 years together, you're obviously very happy, and you're happy with where you're at now. What was your biggest fight?
Oh my God. Biggest fight? It was probably when we first met. we took a French trip to Quebec for school because we were fancy like that, and I got arrested and deported on the first day. And I met her like on the bus ride there. We were chopping it up. Everything was going really well. We were supposed to do like a dinner on a boat that night, and I was gonna ask her to dance with me. And I just messed up and I got arrested. And
Wait, what'd you get arrested for?
My friends and I were shoplifting. It was a really stupid thing, and they just the police just kind of grabbed us and threw us in a basement of a store and then deported us. Like they're like, you can't be here anymore. Drove us to the border, and my parents picked us up. It was
Were they
awful.
happy with you?
No one was happy with me. I was getting yelled at by Courtney, by my parents. I was the man at school. But that's about it.
Was it worth it? Probably not. But you got a good story now.
Yeah, dude, the girl that I've been dating for almost 12 years thought I was a badass. Like, she's like...
All right, so maybe I need to go to another country and get
You
deported.
need to become an international criminal at 14
Yeah,
years old.
Need to shoplift some
Just
more.
go get deported.
Yeah.
This will be the last question.
Yep.
Do you have one? I've got a couple.
I had one, but go ahead.
All right. You said off air that Magic the Gathering
Yep.
is your pick for your favorite card game.
Yes.
Magic the Gathering has a lot of different collabs, as you said, like with Doctor Who. Which is your favorite Magic the Gathering collab?
Oh, jeez. I think it is the Doctor Who one. The cards just look incredible, and then the ability, like a lot of their collaborations, the abilities are kind of just like whatever, and you're just kind of keeping them for the card. But the Doctor Who ones actually have insane abilities that really help the game, and they're at the top of my decks every time.
Excellent.
What's your favorite and least favorite thing about the Escape Pod podcast?
My favorite thing is that it's you two. I think
the least
you guys,
favorite thing it's you two.
Yeah. I think my least favorite thing is that it's only an hour. I want live streams for 24 hours a day.
Thank you,
Of
Bubba.
you
Maybe
two
we'll
just
do that.
talking.
600 patrons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24-hour live stream.
Yeah,
There
we'll
you
do
go.
that. Yeah.
I think I would love it, and I think everyone else would too.
Thank you, my dear. That's very nice of
We're
you.
very happy to have you, dude.
Yeah, no, we're
He's been on a Patreon vlog before, so some people know.
Yes, yeah. So you just told a great story of becoming an international criminal at 14 years old. I did specifically want to ask you about a story when you were very young. May have had to do with Batman.
Yeah. I was a very young kid, and I was very afraid of the dark and what was under my bed. And so I had a bunch of Batman toys that I would line up around the edge of my bed.
As
and
you do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
you
Make
know.
a perimeter.
Yeah, they need to keep watch while I'm sleeping. I rolled off the bed, and one of the Batman cowl horns pierced my little body. It broke my collarbone, and so I was kind of like paralyzed on the floor, and I just couldn't move, and I was freaking out. And I'm sitting there being like, help, mom, dad. But I was so messed up from it, so it took 3 or 4 hours for my dad to come into the room and wake me up for school, and he just sees me dead on the floor, just oh my god, rushed me to the hospital and everything. It was awful. I had to put guards up on my bed after that so I wouldn't fall.
How old were you?
Oh man, I'm gonna be generous and say I'm 5 or 6, but I very well could have been 8 or 9.
So is that the only bone you've broken?
No. I've broken hundreds of bones.
Hundreds?
I've
That is a
broken
lot.
most of my fingers, my leg, my collarbone,
Is that the
my
best
arm.
bone breaking story you got? Or
He's got another good one.
Yeah, I don't. There's so. Are you talking about my nose?
Maybe when you got run over by that lady.
Oh yeah, yeah. I used to be pretty big into skateboarding, and so I was going down this really steep hill, and I landed a trick with only one foot on my board, and so I completely fell off, and I fell so 20 feet down this hill, and it made this hole in my arm, and I rolled over in the street, and I'm like, holy holy crap. And a car just runs it over. And the bone kind of like pops out. And I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm using my skateboard as a cane. Like there's blood dripping everywhere. My friends, they call me. They're at the top of the hill and they're like, that was crazy. Oh my God. And I'm like, stop talking. Get down here, please. Like I'm dying.
And the lady gets out of the car.
Yeah, she's just like, oh my God. And I'm like, go, leave. I can't deal with this. Like I was too embarrassed. My like 8th grade pride couldn't deal with like her like taking me to the hospital or anything. So I'm just like, get out of here, go. I'm fine. And like then my friends finally run down the hill and they're like, oh my God, the bone's sticking out. And I'm just like, nice. Like
That's great.
I love it.
That was awesome.
I'm telling you, the funniest guy in Los Angeles. So we, like I said, we started with a little bit of a hot start. We want to get some of your hot takes. We want to know some of what you believe are some of your hottest takes. We are a hot take show.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we want to maybe talk about them and dispute them. So
Let's go by category. I want like give us a. Do you have a Star Wars hot take?
Yeah, sure. Revenge.
He's like, let me flip through my list.
Here we go. Revenge of the Sith is the best movie by a long shot.
Okay.
A long shot.
Why do you use phrases like long shot?
Because it's one of the best payoffs of like a whole saga of movies of all time.
His turn to the dark side is so rushed and poorly acted.
I don't believe you at all. I think that not only do the prequels have, like just those 3 movies themselves, there are so many subtle moments where you can see Anakin is being betrayed by the government and the council that he works for. But then the Clone Wars also add to it in a million ways on how he is struggling with all this pressure of being the chosen one, but not getting everything that he wants. And I think it was just beautiful how it's like at every turn, like Yoda, Mace Windu, even Obi-Wan in aspects are like ignoring the signs. You know, they're so focused on the war and trying to find the Sith that they don't realize that. Like I always say, it's like the Jedi Council turned Anakin, not Palpatine. You know, Palpatine was just like a good treat for him that he kind of deserved. Like he wanted to save Padme and no one was listening to him. He didn't feel like he could talk to anyone about it except for Palpatine. And I think that just shows the flaws in the Jedi.
I, without question, will agree with you that Clone Wars, the show, makes Revenge of the Sith a better movie. That being said, if your movie needs to be made better by a TV show,
Right.
it's probably a sign of how not good that movie is.
And I disagree. You know, again, it's like the Clone Wars only adds to it. It's sprinkles. It's the cherry on top. Like everything is shown in the prequels that you need to know and understand about Anakin.
So where's Empire and New Hope?
Empire and New Hope, I don't know. They're probably like middle of the list.
What else is above those two?
Attack of the Clones, Rogue One.
I don't like sand.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's rough.
Best cinematic line. Like you're still
Irritating.
quoting it 20 years later. Tell me that's not iconic.
I wish I could just wish away my feelings.
You're bringing tears to my eyes right now.
Okay.
You're putting me right back there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Rogue One is also one of the best Star Wars movies.
No,
That's fine, but
I don't
none of
think
them are
that's
better than Empire.
or New Hope.
Like when people talk about the prequels, they talk about taking the nostalgia goggles off. Like I love the originals, but the nostalgia goggles are so heavy on
That's
those films.
just wild. There's
I
no
think-
movie that's better paced than New Hope.
I'm telling you, something that makes me appreciate the originals more than the story is all the background scenes and like behind the scenes work that went into the originals. That's where I think those movies really shine. Like George Lucas had like 2 cents in a dream and he made all that like happen incredibly well. But when you watch them, they're like campy and goofy, and I don't think the pacing is as good as you think it is.
No, you're tripping. You're tripping. Like every
You don't think episode 2 is campy?
I think if you watched a movie today that was set up like A New Hope, where it's like they are just spilling like word vomit after word vomit and just saying things that don't register in your head. In today's age,
Like what?
the Tashi Station line,
but like
That's setting up a universe.
You get with his line delivery exactly what it means just from context clues. Oh, I wanted to go to Tashi's station to pick up some power converters. And the very next line is, you can have fun with your friends when your chores are done.
I know. I'm not saying they're bad movies. Look, Star Wars is my favorite franchise. I have it tattooed over my heart. I'm just saying.
Can you show that tattoo real quick?
Sure.
It's an excellent tattoo.
Got the logo right there. I see Chris trying to get a peek. But I don't know. I just think the prequels are heightened versions of the original. I do. I really do.
Heightened in what way? The cringiness?
Sure. Yeah. No. And like taking the story to a next level, taking what these characters are in this galaxy and taking it to a next level. Like I think in the originals, again, it's a lot of word vomit without really showing a lot of stuff. And I think the prequels are like, you're going to a million planets, you're seeing a million different alien species, you're seeing bounty hunters, Jedis, Sith, whatever those fly creatures are, and
the Geonosians.
Geonosians, yeah, like the Camoans, like you're seeing everything. Like you are actually seeing the Star Wars universe instead of people just saying it.
Welcome. Wow, I wish we had a camera right there.
Oh my god,
that
you
looks
look so
excellent.
good.
You look like Johnny Depp.
Super's in the building, dude. What up? We're what in the world? We're
Mr. Movie Star over here.
Grilling Connor. Yeah. All right, that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Do you have another Star Wars one? Or
he's got some terrible DC opinions.
You want to do DC?
Sure.
Give us a DC.
BvS is the best DC movie that I think they've ever made. Outside of DCEU, like we're talking all the way back to the 40s. Everything they've made, BvS is like the pinnacle of it. Like absolutely.
You need to be on camera and do your job right now.
Sometimes the
It's
job
incredible.
isn't worth it. Batman v Superman is clearly the worst superhero movie of all time.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So I'm a Batman v Superman defender. I don't think it's the best movie ever or anything like that. But how do you feel about Man of Steel?
It's another incredible one. I just think BvS again heightens everything that Man of Steel is. Like,
Which is all the bad
All the garbage.
You keep saying the prequels heighten the original trilogy, Batman v Superman heighten Man of
I
Steel.
think
Like,
you just
yeah,
like
you're
bad
correct.
content.
I don't think so. But I will take it a step further and say that the Dark Knight trilogy did irreparable damage to the Batman idea.
That's an interesting take.
Okay, but I'm not gonna.
That's an interesting take. I don't hate it.
Explain why, because I might not disagree.
Okay, because it's literally just Christopher Nolan saying, here is like the skin of Batman, and I'm just going to make my own action movie. Like, it's taking concepts of Batman, Joker, Bane, but it's not them. It is not them.
That
at
was
all.
an unbelievable bar that you just said.
No, it's a good take. It's a good take.
But
It's
the worst part
interesting.
is that it's being translated now. Like, you know, the Dark Knight was one thing, and now we have the Batman movie where it's like, okay, now we got to take that realism a step further. And it's like, we're going to keep getting this every 10, 15 years of just a grittier, darker, more realistic Batman. When it's like you had the GOAT right there in Man of Steel. Or, BvS. Like, Ben Affleck is just the king of Batman.
Yeah, he's my
coming
favorite
out.
Batman too, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you
don't-
cared about Batman.
I love Batman.
Then why do you want him killing people?
Because
Why you-
he doesn't kill people.
He blows somebody up! He uses a gun to shoot a flamethrower and blows a guy up.
I could sit here for an hour and explain, like, the ideals of Batman in BvS, but it might go over your head. You know? Because by the end of the movie, he's not killing. He's learned his lesson. He's come full circle. But when you think about it, he was Batman for 20, 30 years before Man of Steel. He tried to do all of this good. Like, people died, family died, he lost relationships, all this stuff. And then when he's retired, all of a sudden, an alien just drops down and wipes out Metropolis. And now he's just here saying he's like the defender of Earth. But you keep reading all this stuff about how he's messing with people and how he's scary. And it's like, it all makes total sense. Yep. This Batman loves the world, loves Gotham, loves protecting people. And when he sees like an immovable object, he's like, I have to do something. I have to do it with all my power.
Yeah,
What's that
I
line?
agree with
if
literally
there's even like a
everything.
1% chance, like,
Then we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
Yeah.
I agree with literally everything you said about Batman there, but that is like why I don't like Man of Steel. Because they did Man of Steel and they did Superman so bad that's why I love Batman v Superman, because now we have a protagonist that feels how I feel. That guy sucks.
I disagree. I think Man of Steel really showed a more like human side of Clark. I know there's like a real like the campy stuff that people enjoy. I enjoy it with Superman, but like this shows what it would actually be like if you are Jesus walking on Earth and everyone's expecting things from you.
Whoop-de-doo. Like you just said, we shouldn't, like that the Dark Knight trilogy did irreparable damage to Deep Sea and Batman. I don't need the guy that flies around that has lasers come out of his eyes. I don't need a realistic take on that.
But at least that's like...
And you can still do realistic while being true to the character and letting him stand for truth, justice, and the American way, and not making
How did he not? How did he not?
He's Batman. He's dark and brooding, and he's real upset that he couldn't save his dad.
And he's also killing people.
Saved his dad, and he's killing people.
Like, when you say he's killing people, are you talking about Zod, or are you talking...
I'm talking about Zod. I'm talking about 10,000 people in Metropolis. I'm talking about his own father.
But I think that's just, like... Again, he lives with that. Like, you see him dealing with those repercussions.
That is not enough of a reason for me to like the movie.
But it's real. Like, I don't get it. You can't have Superman
well,
like...
Well, the Dark Knight's the real Batman.
What would you... But what would you want for Superman? Would you want it to be like 20 minutes of the government being like, okay, we need to evacuate the whole city. Like, everyone's out for Superman and Zod to go have this, like, playground fight.
Everyone acts like it's impossible to write a story in which Superman doesn't murder people. Like, you can have... Just because there is reasonings for it happening in the movie doesn't mean that it had to be written that way.
Don't they have like 30 lines in your favorite DC movie of all time? Isn't there like 4 or 5 lines that they specifically say, there is nobody in Metropolis right now. The place everybody's gone home from work. There is nobody there for them to kill. No. And then every single movie since then, haven't they made like a big deal to like not have it in a city? Which doesn't seem that hard. Yeah. In Flash, it's in Kansas, in a field. Nobody's there.
Okay, but the Flash didn't look good being in that just like flat open nothing. Like there was nothing there. It made it look worse.
My second favorite scene, probably my third favorite scene in BvS is seeing the Man of Steel fight from Bruce's perspective. Yeah. Because he sees it as the terrorist attack that it is. That's how this world should look at Henry Cavill's Superman, and it bothers me that he's still played as a protagonist.
Nah, I just can't think of one situation where you can have Superman's like first big fight and it doesn't result in like, the city being destroyed. Like,
don't have it in a city.
But where, like, he doesn't choose it. Like Zod chose it. Like, of course Zod is using that as
bad writing.
No. A villain going to, like, a super populated city to destroy it, that's bad writing? Like, of course he's gonna... Why would Zod... Again, like, in Flash, why is Zod showing up to Kansas? What is in Kansas? Like, he's going to Metropolis because that's where he sees Superman. That's where there's a ton of people to wipe out. Like, you put that Death Destroyer thing from Krypton, like, in Kansas... It's just making more mud. Like, it's not killing anyone.
I think there are ways to deal with all the repercussions and things like dealing with, like, in Marvel, they dealt with the repercussions of them dropping a building on someone in Sokovia or whatever in Civil War. But they did that 3 movies into Captain America, and they handled it way better than just making Iron Man a brooding, terrible person that murders a bunch of people. Like, you can write something where characters deal with these problems that you want them to deal with and being quote-unquote realistic in certain ways without destroying said characters.
That's true, but I don't think Man of Steel destroys Superman. And
does Batman v Superman do anything bad to any of the characters?
Lex Luthor's not great, Bubba.
Yes, he is. Okay. He's got one of the...
Why did we bring him on?
He's got one of the best soundtracks.
He's a great Riddler. Yeah. The Hans Zimmer score is excellent.
And again, it's like, I'm one of those dudes that like went online and read like his 30-step plan on that's, thrown in throughout the whole movie. And it works so well. Again, it makes sense in this universe when you have Jesus walking around, like how these characters are going to operate, I think it makes sense that it has to be a super convoluted plan for Lex Luthor to do to get away from Batman being his detective and Superman so it's not out in the open, I think Lex Luthor was played and written incredibly in BvS. I think that whole movie.
This is like the definition of reaching. Like, oh, you got to go online and read a 30-page plan for his character.
No, that's just for me.
That's garbage. That's garbage. Yeah, that's for you because you're the only one that likes the movie.
I think you can understand it all in the movie. I think if you are just like really interested.
Explain
in
the Martha thing to me.
Explain the Martha thing to you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Explain the Martha thing to me.
Like, they are two people that are, again, so strong-headed and, like, they're so focused on what's happening right now. Superman is focused on Martha. Batman is focused on taking down the giant alien threat. That Batman, again, this whole movie is only seeing him as, like, an alien terrorist. So when, yeah, you get it? You know where I'm going with this. So when he finally hears that Superman was actually just a man in any sort of way, that he has a mother, whatever at all, it completely changes his mind. This Batman in BvS is not
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So you just talked about how strong-headed they are, how focused Batman is on destroying, and the lives that are on this, and Superman. All these lives are on Superman, and he's protecting the planet. It is literally the biggest stakes in the world.
Yeah.
And it didn't even enter his mind for a second that he might have a mother until he's about to kill him, and one word changes his mind for all of this other stuff. One word does that. His detectiveness didn't allow him to figure out who Superman was, and the fact that he had a mom before that, he didn't once consider the fact that he might have been more human than you thought. That's bad writing. That's stupid.
Why?
The entire climax pinnacle of the movie being relegated to one word and it changing their entire motivation is stupid.
No. If you hop
It's not just one word. It's the reason for his entire being. The reason his parents died, the reason his mom died, the reason he saw his mom get shot in her chest with her pearls going everywhere.
It's because she's called Martha?
That is the reason he's that is the reason he's Batman. It's not just like cheeseburger and then it's all over. That's the reason for his entire being. And throughout the entire point of Bruce going through his arc in BvS is that he comes back to his center at the end of it.
Yes.
And then he's at a point where he's like, I failed Clark in life.
This is the definition of waffling.
And also, like what you were just saying, it's like, again, Batman has only seen him fly down from space into Metropolis and destroy it. Superman hasn't been here a long time. He doesn't know anything about Superman.
So Batman's a bad detective, first of all.
Whoa. If you see Zod and his army fly down, and then someone from the same species shows
is trying
up at
to
the
stop
same
that
time,
person?
but shows up at the same time, how are you supposed to expect that he grew up in Kansas or New York
By
or
being
wherever?
Batman and being a detective.
He is. He's
I understand
the one figuring out.
the significance of Martha. I've never said I don't understand that it's significant to Batman. I'm saying that it is stupid to portray it that way and to have his entire motivation change because he's never once considered the fact that someone else might have a mom named Martha.
Why would you? I don't walk around being like,
literally exactly what happens at the end of Civil War. Is Tony a bad guy? Is Tony a bad guy for going after Bucky after you just saw him choke out his mom? No, he's
watching a video of someone killing your mother is not even close to the same.
That is
what? Wait, what?
That is.
Shit is not the same thing.
That is.
No, it is.
That
No,
is.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
Dude, it's blind rage. It's the complete opposite. It's blind rage, and then it's Bruce.
It's not blind rage. Watching someone literally choke out your mother is not the same as hearing a word, Martha. Number one. Okay,
and he was brainwashed, by the way. And he was brainwashed, by the way.
No,
so why the fuck is he going out Bucky when Bucky wasn't in control?
No. But the difference is just Batman realizing that he has a mom. That is not good writing. Just the Martha concept is not good. And
It's not about that he has a mom. It's
That's
the
exactly
fact.
what you just said it was
It's
about.
the fact that he's a human.
No, but
He
that's-
doesn't
no.
realize
It's
it.
the fact that hearing Martha brings him back to his entire reason for being Batman in the first place. The thing that changed his life.
Great,
It
great.
doesn't change his reasoning.
Thank
to
you for
stop
proving
Superman.
that he's not Batman of the entire
No,
movie.
that doesn't.
Wrong.
No, that doesn't.
He just
He
admitted
lost
it.
himself.
That doesn't
He
make
lost
sense.
himself.
No.
He lost himself.
Just admitted
He's
it.
the
Bro, he
Dark
lost
Knight.
himself.
He is the Dark
He lost
Knight.
himself. And then he came back to his purpose
And
when he heard the word
for
Martha.
you to come back to your entire purpose and change your entire perspective
That's
of
not-
the entire movie
that's not
because
you
of
saying that.
is
Bro,
stupid.
and
It's
then-
also
Dude,
not the
You
same.
literally,
know what happens
you
after
have
that?
the guy with the lottery card being like, he's angry, like he's not Batman in those moments. He is going back to form, like.
And then you know what happens right after that? Bruce has a line in this film where he says, "What are promises worth? 20 years in Gotham, what are promises worth anymore?" You know what he does after he hears that and they have that little moment? He promises to Cal that he's gonna save his mom because guess what? He was that little boy once and he would do anything to save another boy from losing his mother ever again.
Yup. That's my
And
boy
you want to
right
talk about Lex Luthor's writing? How about Lex Luthor being abused by his dad his entire life? So now when he sees someone with this amount of power, yeah, he has that beautiful line of dialogue where it's, if God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. His dad was all powerful and he wasn't all good, and he learned that very well as a kid. Now he sees this and he sees the world at risk. Of course he's gonna doubt Superman, and he's gonna try to, put Superman in a difficult position and
So why did he doubt
sauce him
Superman?
up.
Can you explain to me why he doubted Superman?
Because of the
Because he
Metropolises?
destroyed all
Wait. So
Because
him,
that destroyed all
okay. So
Metropolis?
when you watch it from an outside perspective as the world's greatest detective, and you see
Yeah.
someone battling against the person that's actually destroying Metropolis, what's your first thought?
I'm talking about Lex Luthor.
Oh no, I'm talking about Batman.
Say that again?
So when you see someone battling against the person that's responsible for destroying Metropolis, and you're the world's greatest detective, what's your first thought? That he's an antagonist?
That wasn't seen. That wasn't seen.
Yes, it was. It was literally
in-
televised that he was fighting Zod.
Exactly.
And
but
Zod was
it was never seen,
the dudes
bro.
in
It
the
was never seen.
The dudes in the suits.
Literally
were
in the opening
responsible.
scene, you saw Bruce's entire perspective. You saw
You're
Bruce's
also
entire
forgetting,
perspective.
like, Lex Luthor was setting Superman up in the beginning of the movie where he killed all those terrorists out in the Middle East. Like, Batman might have let the Metropolis situation go. Maybe it pissed him off and he wanted to do something. But then now there's news articles coming about that
So, Superman
so-
lasering a ton of people.
Yeah.
Lasering who? Who was he lasering?
A ton of innocent people.
Was it
So-
innocent
and-
people?
and yes, innocent.
What was
That was the
actually-
opening of the BvS Ultimate Edition.
What was it?
Lex
Well,
Luthor had a
he's
ton of
being
people.
Batman. If
It's
Superman's
really good. The
killing...
Ultimate Edition's good.
So basically,
There's a ton of context that's taken out in the Ultimate Edition.
Absolutely,
Y'all need to watch
yeah.
that. Y'all
No,
need to
but
watch
I
that.
own the
who
Ultimate
did he
Edition. I like it
laser?
quite a bit.
What was the actual news article?
So the news in BvS.
yeah.
In BvS, it was that Superman murdered like an entire village of innocent people. by
Innocent
lasering.
people?
Yes,
Innocent
it was the
people.
terrorists and the women. Everyone was
Yeah,
killed.
Yeah,
But
that
Lex
makes sense.
Luthor-
Yeah,
Lex Luthor
Batman
hired
listens
them
to
and he-
news articles. Yeah, the world's greatest detective.
yeah. So basically, what this, what,
Holy-
basically,
Oh my God.
Listen to news articles.
basically, what this
This
conversation
is crazy.
No.
This
What's
is-
this?
Okay, but Robert Pattinson doesn't even know what Alvarata means. Like, he can't
Exactly.
even speak Spanish.
Robert Pattinson is a terrible
Like-
detective.
So
Thank
what,
you.
what,
They're
we,
all
what we have
bad
learned, what we have
detectives.
learned, what y'all have taught me about Batman v Superman is
Yeah.
that number one, Batman has lost his way, so he's not Batman, and number two, he's an idiot that can't detect anything.
That's what it
So
sounds
thank you
like.
for proving my
Yeah,
point that Batman v Superman
it's called
Batman sucks.
it's called a character arc. You know, we can look it up sometime. Okay, let's talk about Christian Bale. He literally took a cinder block out of a f***ing wall and then scanned it.
You're bringing non sequiturs. I think Christian Bale's a Batman. It was
Good.
a movie, bad Batman. Batfleck's also a Batman.
No.
Dog shit.
I won't accept
This is
that.
so crazy.
They're
No.
terrible. Like most live action Batmans have been.
Best live action Batman in any moment he's in. Even Flash, he's the best Batman.
You're drunk.
One
Yeah,
of his
Batman
best
v Superman, I
speeches
agree.
comes from the Flash.
We've actually gotten no really good live action Batman. Pattinson's on the path to become a really good one, but we have gone.
He's
no
a
live-
terrible detective,
No,
though.
he's not. No, he's not. No,
He's
he's
not a terrible
not.
detective, but he's not a great one either. He's a good detective. That's
Anyways,
Yeah. Let's move on.
Marvel hot take?
Jeez.
I didn't hear, bro.
Marvel hot take. I don't know. I mean, I've heard your guys' takes, so I guess they're hot takes. Like, I think Homecoming is top 3 MCU movies. Like,
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest given our conversation.
I love you. Yes. It's not top 3, but
The
yes.
fact
is,
that
it
you want
is.
to team up with this guy after everything he said is
I
unbelievable.
defend Batman v Superman. I just think Man of Steel is dog shit.
I also saw this on Twitter, and I know you feel the same way. I don't think Avengers 1 holds up. Like, I think there are.
I am
I think
about
there.
done.
I
No,
think
no,
there
no,
are
no, no, no.
clippable scenes that like you can rewatch on Twitter or TikTok, and you're like, "That was good."
What
That's
do you
good.
think his opinion on Avengers 1 is?
That you like it, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's
It's his favorite movie of all time.
made for TV.
I think Avengers 1 holds up.
You're a terrible person.
So what are your favorite MCU movies?
I mean, like I said, I like Homecoming. I
Yep.
like the first Doctor Strange movie.
Yep.
Civil War is
Yep.
probably like number 1.
Yeah, great pick.
And then I like Infinity War. I really
Great
love
pick.
Infinity War.
So you don't have No Way Home up there.
No, I think No Way Home is like a fun time, but I haven't really gone back to rewatch it too much. I've watched it like maybe 3 or 4 times after it came out, but then I haven't really gone back to it. And when people talk about it on Twitter, I kind of agree. Like there are some flaws in it. I think it had like a lot of fan service having 3 Spider-Men and everything, but
No Way Home has flaws, but Batman v Superman's perfect. Kill me now. Kill me
you just
now.
said the truest thing you've ever said in your whole life.
Wild. Wild.
All right.
Okay, can we go to agree or disagree or something?
We could.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have like a Disney Pixar hot take?
Disney Pixar hot take.
What's
Or
your favorite Pixar movie?
Just Disney in general.
Oh yeah. I don't know. So I really like The Incredibles. I think that's like one of the best
that's my
movies
number one as well.
around.
Wow, he has said something good.
But I'm a huge villain guy, so I love Syndrome. And all that
Syndrome's
stuff.
a great villain.
But I overheard you guys earlier, and I think live actions are a good thing for these Disney animated movies.
So you're for Lilo and Stitch live action?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm for all. I think it's a good way to like get the new generation into it. I think the animations hold up more so for like us and like really young toddlers, but I think for kids that are like, anything over the age of like 5, they want the new stuff. Like Cinderella did really well. The Jungle Book did really well. Lion King does really well. I think kids like to see the live action mixed with animation or CGI.
Unfortunately, most of the agree or disagrees for today we have kind of gone over. It was a lot of Batman v Superman baiting.
Hell yeah! Let's do this.
So
BvS.
Now, if we need to skip something because we already talked about Wiki.
no, we're gonna skip quite a bit.
Okay.
See, The Avengers.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I think it does. I think it's a good movie. I just think like it doesn't hold up as well as the years go by. Like I think the original trilogy of Star Wars
the
holds
Tobey
up.
movies, but they're still great.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
the
true.
Tobey movies
Yeah, the
hold
Tobey
up.
movies don't really hold. Besides Spider-Man 3.
What the hell?
No, come on.
What is
Come
the
on.
Spider-Man 3 take?
Spider-Man 3. So like, I mean, Goblin Jr. got me into snowboarding. I still every time I snowboard, I ride it like he does. First time really seeing the black suit, and that theme for the black suit is iconic.
Are you saying it's like good?
Yeah.
Is it better than the other two?
Wait, what?
It's
Oh
like-
yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
best Tobey movie.
Yeah.
So you just like super convoluted, not good.
Well, I
writing.
really like the Green Goblin in the first one. Green Goblin is like one of my favorite villains of all time. But as far as like a Spider-Man story, I think the third one's the best one.
Your take on what they're doing with Insomniac Green Goblin is really interesting. Can you illuminate us?
I just hope that if they do it, it is with Peter, and it's like, if any, I know they're probably thinking of doing like the ultimate version where he's a giant beast, but I really want like the OG Green Goblin, at least for the first half, and then you can make him like a giant beast. But like, I feel so sad that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is like the best version of him that we've gotten, because he can be so much more. Like he should be up there with like talks with Joker and stuff for like scariest and evilest villains out there. But Marvel just kind of throws him away. I remember after TASM 2, they were like, didn't really do well, so we're kind of going to stop using Goblin. And I was like, you're messing it all up. I just want a good Goblin. He should be in the MCU. He should be the president in the MCU. He should be controlling S.H.I.E.L.D. in the MCU. He should be Green Goblin in the MCU. It's crazy. It's crazy. It blows my mind. Iron Patriot, Green Goblin, president. I need Norman. I want him.
All right. So we don't have very many.
Okay. Rapid fire.
Yeah. Yeah, these are also going to be pretty quick. Michael Keaton is a bad Batman.
3,
2,
2,
1.
Disagree.
Disagree. Agree. What's your gripes with Michael Keaton?
Are we talking like his first movie or The Flash?
Anything, whatever you want.
Oh, I just find him boring. I don't really like him. I think his suit is very mid. I think his line, like the way he says all of his lines are very mid. I didn't like the first one that he did. I think Jack Nicholson was the only good part of that first one. And like I said, just if it's not Ben Affleck, I don't want it.
Are you sad that he's done so?
Yeah, I think he'll come back.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Agree or disagree? Ben Affleck will come back. 3, 2, 1. Disagree. Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, in what capacity do you think
The
he's gonna come back?
DCEU's getting shopped around, okay? It's not going to be through Warner Brothers, but, like, Zack Snyder's movies will live on in DC somewhere. I know they will. That cast is too stacked. It will come back. He'll come back in some way.
I am excited.
I think we're just learning that he's a full-on, just like, whoop. Like, he's crazy.
I am excited for
I think a lot of people are going to agree with me.
I am excited. I am excited for Rebel Moon.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Disagree.
What?
Who cares? It's gonna be another. You're gonna love it because it's gonna be just like Rogue One. It's gonna be another lifeless Star Wars movie.
Yeah, Zack Snyder R-rated Star Wars. I mean, that's gonna be peak. Okay? I'm like climbing my way to the mountaintop right now. I'm almost at peak. I'm almost there.
Would you consider yourself a Snyder fanboy?
Yeah, I
Or
don't.
a Snyder D-rider, as they call them, the kids these days?
Yeah, I think he's done amazing work, especially with superhero stuff. I'm not like a huge fan of like 300 or the zombie movie that he did for Netflix.
Yeah, Army of
But
the Dead.
I mean, I think he's great with a camera, and I love his stories. I love his little convoluted stories, that really make you think.
Zack Snyder.
How much they don't make sense? Yeah,
No.
I think about them all the time.
About how it's blowing your mind every second.
About how bad it is.
Zack Snyder's Watchmen is a good movie.
3,
3, 2, 1. Agree. Yeah.
Agree.
Now,
That's
it's
easy.
one of the best, if not the best, comic of all time.
Yep.
His version doesn't do the comic justice, but it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, I think besides the third act, like I think he could have leaned into the super sci-fi-ness and like drop an alien on New York. Like I think that would have been cool. But I think again, what he did was just incredible. Like the
What's your-
comedian.
You've never seen Watchmen?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah.
Oh.
You like it?
Yeah, you go watch
I'll
Watchmen
I'll
and then go
avoid
watch BvS and be like, peak masterpieces
What's your favorite movie from this year? I just want to gauge.
from this year.
Yeah, I want to get a gauge on you.
I don't know. It's like what everyone else is. I really loved Across the Spider-Verse. I really loved. I needed more Ben in Across the Spider-Verse. I needed more Scarlet Spider, but and then Guardians 3 I think was really good. I just saw the Marvels too, and I thought that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
That was the
Nice.
next agree or disagree. Agree
Yeah.
or disagree. The Marvels is not as bad as everybody says.
3, 2, 1.
Agree.
Look, that's our
It's
first
good.
triple agree.
I know. I
It's
think
good.
I think it does have some flaws, but I feel like it mostly comes from the editor's room. Like I just wanted it to be longer. I think I wanted the villain a little more fleshed out. But I mostly just wanted the three girls' relationships. Like I wanted to see more of the fun and like them kind of bonding and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like we got a perfect amount of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was so
and
fun.
the villain, she sucks. But Ronan, the accuser from Guardians 1 sucks.
Yeah,
The MCU is full of terrible villains. As long as the movie itself is entertaining. If I get a terrible MCU, I've seen a boring MCU movie with a bad villain with Thor: The Dark World and Malekith.
Yeah.
I don't this wasn't that.
No, I agree. And I think, again, it's like this movie was really focusing just on the three girls' relationship, and the villain really took a side seat to it, which I think is totally fine. I just, again, I wish kind of like the conflicts between the three girls were kind of fleshed out more. Like, I wanted to see more of Monica and Carol kind of dealing with the past stuff.
Sure, yeah, that's
And
fair.
I think the only thing that really made sense was Kamala seeing Carol as an idol, and then when they have that whole breakdown in the field, seeing her as a person. And I think that was just shown so well. I think that was incredible.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree? The MCU is in shambles.
3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Disagree. Agree. Wow, why?
Didn't we just talk about this? And
Yeah,
you were
it's not as in shambles as everybody says, but it is in its worst place ever and everything like that.
Yeah, but what do you mean by shambles? It has nothing going for it.
Yeah.
It has no plan.
I
it has
am
no
thrilled. I'm sure
future.
you're thrilled as well. I'm thrilled we're only getting one movie next year.
Yes, yeah.
Do that more. Because did you see the 2025 slate? We get 8 projects.
I know.
Don't do that.
I know. Those will get pushed back. I know they
Or
will.
cancel them.
Are you excited for Echo?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the trailer looks so
good.
The
good.
trailer looks really good. I don't know. I feel like there's I seen a joke on Twitter a couple times where it's the MCU is in shambles, then a great project comes out. Then it's the MCU's over, then another great project comes. Superhero fatigue. It's I feel like that's kind of what they're gonna be.
That's
from
why
now
it's
on
not
for
in
a long
shambles.
time.
They're giving us more garbage than they ever have, clearly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They aren't. They're not striking out completely. They gave us
Yeah.
Loki. A lot of people like Loki. They gave us the Marvels. A lot of people didn't like Marvels. I did. They gave us No Way Home. They gave us Guardians. They've given us.
Yeah,
they're giving us stuff.
Guardians was such a great movie this year. I feel like it's brushed over when people talk about the MCU being in shambles. That Variety article, they only highlighted just these really negative points that I don't even think were that true, but they're not talking about
It did
Guardians.
feel very much like Variety kicking the MCU while they're down.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
only
yeah.
bringing up the bad stuff. That was my one takeaway from the article. I was like, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention this.
Yeah, I don't get it. And in that Variety article with the Loki, they're talking about how, like, you know, you could kind of write off Kang, like, after the finale, and I don't see that true at all. Like, Kang and He Who Remains in Loki's last conversation was, there's too many of my variants out there. Like, that's the whole point now. There's a million Kangs out there now, so I don't know how they could just say, like, oh, yeah, no more Kangs. That doesn't make sense to me.
Here's my final agree or disagree.
Let's go.
Loki season 2 makes sense.
Like, just as the story.
All of it.
Okay.
3.
Andrew's furious with me. 2, 1. You're agreeing and disagreeing.
Yeah.
I'm disagreeing.
Wait, why?
I think too much doesn't make sense.
Too much doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
Like, what? What doesn't
Can you
make sense?
explain to me, like, how he got his power at the end of it? Like, I get it. It's an incredible feat for him to, like, survive the temporal aura as he's walking down that bridge. And then he grows the clothes for him and he grabs the branches. Can you explain any of that to me on, like, how those powers came about, what he's doing when he grabs those branches? Is he all powerful now, or is he just keeping things alive? How is he gonna live there forever? All those. Can you explain any of that to me?
Yeah, I think I could. Like, you know, when I first watched it too, it was a little, you know, a lot was happening, but I kept having to remind myself that, like, he is a Norse god. Like, the Loki show did such a great job of humanizing him, you know, of just making him like a detective, blah, blah, blah. But, like, at the end, you are reminded, like, not only does he have these new time powers, but he's also, like, just a Norse god. Like, you know, he's incredibly powerful and can do incredible things, and you've seen him, like, changing clothes. Like, he does that all the time in the MCU. You never know what he's actually wearing and stuff.
But,
and
like, so do you think Thor could do that?
walk on that bridge?
Yes.
Yeah. I do think Thor could have walked on that bridge. Absolutely not. I do. I don't think I think Loki did develop, like, new time powers that make him essential for holding the timeline. But I think if Thor, like, if they swapped out Victor Timely with Thor for the failed thing where he walks out and comes back, like, I think Thor could have done that no problem.
Me
Like,
too.
They're gods. They are gods.
He
Like,
almost died to a star. We're talking about universal energy.
he did not almost die
Yes,
to
he
a
did.
star.
Yeah, he did.
No. Wait, are you just saying because he was screaming and shit?
No, he screams and then he is knocked out, and each literally goes, he needs. He says he needs the axe to, like, be alive.
The hammer was literally needed to survive. He was going to die.
Wait. Okay,
No, he was
so
going to die
you think,
to the star. Yeah.
You think? I don't think he was going to die to the star. I think if anything, it was more about just holding that like hole open. Like, it wasn't. It was about being hit with it like that. Like, he still survived though and got up.
So how did he survive? What happened? What was the key factor of him getting back up when he was laying there dead?
Are you saying it's the axe?
The axe 1000% empowered him. It was also the reason why he said he could actually battle and fight Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Without the axe, he did not believe he could fight Thanos.
But isn't that the whole point of Thor's? Like, the power comes from him, not his weapon.
It definitely comes from him.
Like,
but the axe empowered. Stormbreaker made him stronger. It 1000% made him stronger.
Well, is it like a lightning rod though for his power? Like, it's more to, like, harness it. Like, is he just overloaded right now with cosmic, like, energy and stuff?
I wouldn't say it's a lightning rod. I would say he has a certain cap, and then the axe just help him not amplify it, but just add a little more oomph to it.
So you think that
he
sun
didn't- no, he
was
didn't-
his cap? Like, we've seen Thor do crazy things.
What has he done that's crazier than anything that's star level?
I mean, Thanos was shooting the Power Stone,
and
beam,
Stormbreaker went through.
but like, anyone could hold Stormbreaker and it wouldn't do anything. Like, Thor has to be the one to channel his power through.
So
Stormbreaker.
it definitely takes a bit of his power, but
You saw Groot. Groot is one of the most powerful
He
beings,
needed
and he couldn't
Stormbreaker.
lift
He literally stated word for word he needed Stormbreaker to fight Thanos. He states
But
this
that's
himself.
Thor's
and this
crutch.
No.
That
This
is
is
Thor's
after,
crutch.
and this is after Ragnarok when he already realized that he doesn't need a hammer. Ragnarok is his realization that he's not the hammer. He is the god of thunder.
Yes,
And then
but he's also super depressed after Ragnarok.
No, That has nothing to do with Stormbreaker. This is after the
No, but
they
what
were
I'm
talking about
saying
after
is
the
like
snap. So-
Ragnarok, he gets comfort in not needing the hammer.
No, it's not
But then-
comfort. No, he realizes he doesn't need the hammer. He's strong without the hammer. And even after that realization, he states he needs Stormbreaker to defeat Thanos. Without it, he will not defeat Thanos. And we saw it when he got his ass whooped by Thanos.
But again, isn't that just to channel his power? Like,
No, it's not just
Thor's
to channel
not one
his
of those
power.
guys. Like, he's not
It's not to channel his
Palpatine
power.
who can like.
It's not the
So
channel
okay,
his power.
yeah.
Even if it is to channel his power,
Yeah.
like it can be an amplifier. Like Thor cannot do what he can do without Stormbreaker. Like Stormbreaker plus Thor is the power.
Is
like
stronger,
obviously,
yeah.
is obviously someone that's not Thor using Stormbreaker wouldn't be as powerful, but also Thor without Stormbreaker wouldn't be as powerful.
I do agree. I was saying that I was talking to someone about it, and I was saying if Thor and Loki ever do see each other again, like Thor needs to become like Odin of Asgard.
He needs
you
to
know?
become like
He-
Rune King Thor.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
right, like there's no way in hell any MCU powerhouse that we've seen so far is walking through that that bridge. None of them are surviving that.
I
Now,
don't think Thor could hold the timelines like Loki, but I do think he could walk across that bridge.
there's like him almost dying to a star is so. You know how many stars exist in a galaxy, let alone an infinitely growing multiverse.
Yeah.
So like it's
Yeah.
numbered.
Yeah.
We're talking beyond trillions, and we're talking
But
about
is it that level of energy? Is
without
that
the,
what
the,
it is?
the
Wait, so
radiation
could
is
Captain
coming from the
Marvel do
universe.
it?
No, I don't think any of them are surviving that.
Captain
Well,
Marvel
they
turned on
nerfed.
a sun.
A sun is not compared to a universe. They're,
No, but I'm saying that I don't think that's the amount of power that is coming at you.
No, but the radiation
And also,
is
this
1000%
wasn't
because
just
of the
any
universe.
star that was hitting Thor. This was like a very
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
what
matter
kind
what
of
star
it is.
There's
Are you sure? But
no,
this
no,
was
no,
a power-
no.
isn't this
Connor,
the star
there
that
is
got-
trillions of
No,
those
no,
certain
no.
types of stars within a universe.
I know, but this is the
But
only
you're saying
star
that
that can.
one universe, like the radiation is that power.
Yeah,
because they
1000%.
never explain what the temporal
Yeah,
radiation
no,
or the
you have
time radiate. Like so we are arguing this. It's an argument that we can only have because they do not explain what that radiation is.
It's
Yes,
context clues.
but
Don't they? Are
no,
you
they
sure
don't.
They don't.
They
Yes.
don't. Number one, but number two, you have to just like this. All these conversations are hypothetical. You have to go off of what you think is more powerful. I agree with him. I think that a ever expanding, almost on the edge of exploding sacred timeline is more powerful than one star in a single universe.
But it's also like context clues. Like they explain the sacred timeline as the main universe, and the radiation is radiating from that universe, that existence, that's like that timeline that's being controlled by the time loom or held by the time loom. All of the radiation from that universe, all the power from it, is what's radiating out, and it's going to cause the TVA to collapse. So like that's the power, because like the TVA is designed to prune, like the time loom is designed to prune and destroy every other timeline / universe that's being created. So it's already like designed to withstand like other multiverses being created, except for the sacred timeline. So we know its radiation is coming from that.
We're gonna continue talking about Loki. We notoriously, you actively kind of dislike it. I like it, just not as much as everyone else. These two are cuddled up and really like it. We're gonna continue talking about. We're gonna have a whole Loki like townhouse meeting.
Yes.
On the Patreon.
Let's
so,
go.
So go check it out. But thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.
Love you.